scripture, the portion there came to me, and I looked it up, and it was Paul talking to King Agrippa. And Paul was telling him how terrible he had been to the saints before, of course, before he got saved. He had encouraged, I guess, let me read it here, it says, he was telling King Agrippa that some terrible things that he had done. Can't seem to find what I'm looking for right now, except I do have the main scripture. But anyway, he had just been horrible to God's people. Helped some, I believe he helped some of them be put to death by his testifying against them and stuff. And I even read where that it said something about that he even caused them, or helped cause them to blaspheme. It was such serious reading. And right here it says, yes, it says, and I punished them oft in every synagogue, and compelled them to blaspheme, and being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even unto strange cities. And he says, which thing I also did in Jerusalem, and many of the saints did I shut up in prison, having received authority from the chief priest. And when they were put to death, I gave my voice against them. That's how much the Paul was against the children of God. But it says here, it says, he's telling King Agrippa this. Whereupon, as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priest, at midnight, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me, and them which journeyed with me. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. But Jesus said, But rise and stand upon thy feet, for I have appeared unto thee for this purpose, to make thee a minister and a witness, both of these things which thou hast seen, and of those things in the which I will appear unto thee, delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee. For he had been so against them, the Lord Jesus is sending his people to him. Going to send them to him. It says, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. And he said, Whereupon, O King Agrippa, I was not disobedient unto the heavenly vision, but shewed first unto them of Damascus and in Jerusalem and throughout all the coast of Judea. For these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. Having therefore obtained help of God. And then I'll read, he says, I continue unto this day, witnessing both the small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did should come, that Jesus should suffer, and that he should be the first that should rise from the dead, and should shew light unto the people and to the Gentiles. And so I'll go on down. He said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness. And he said, for the king knoweth of these things, before whom also I speak freely, for I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him, for this thing was not done in a corner. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? I know that thou believest. This is Paul telling him that. And King Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. Isn't that going to be sad if a person stands at the judgment And they realized just almost
Yes.
I was willing to turn to the Lord to be a Christian, but I held something back. I held something back and I wasn't willing to do it. This scripture came to me this morning about this. It said, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. I tell you what, Brother Vernon talking about being a Christian, living right, I tell you what, it's going to pay us in every way, but especially on Judgment Day. It is going to pay us so much that we've sought the Lord, we've turned to the Lord. And you know, just to stand there, James, and realize, depart from me, I knew you not. And you have the thought, oh, I almost was persuaded. I just let a few little frivolous things stand in my way. I was almost persuaded, but I just didn't quite give it all. Didn't quite give it in. Oh my. That's going to be the most serious hour, the most serious time that we've ever faced, is on Judgment Day. I tell you, I'm very thankful for Brother Ronnie. I knew that his bad here steamer last night. I didn't know he passed, and Teresa said earlier, but I believe it's another child of God gone home. That's what I believe. I believe it's I tell you what, the good Lord, when He sees that His people's work is done on earth, then I think He takes them home. I do. I think He just gets them out of this old world. When they've done all they can do, all the work, I believe the Lord just takes them to the better place. I want to live right. I want to be saved. I want all of us to be saved. I want to treat everybody right. I sure do. I want to treat everybody right. And we must to be right. Did you know that? We've got to do it to be right. But I'm glad my heart desires to treat everybody right. Nobody that I think of right now, nobody that I think of, Brother Aaron, that I'd like to mistreat in any way. Nobody. I don't even have a thought in my mind to mistreat anybody. I don't want to mistreat anybody. But the good Lord has been good to us, but almost. I don't want to get to the judgment and something to be said that me have a thought. Almost. You use Willie, just almost. Almost means just a little bit. Just a little bit that you wasn't willing to give up. That you wasn't willing to do. That you wasn't willing to sacrifice. Whatever you had to give up. Nothing in this world is worth being lost off of. Nothing is worth it. But almost. The King of Greenwood, he said, almost. Thou persuadest me to be a Christian. Oh, we've heard about holiness all our lives. And me and Freddie was raised here in this little church. And here it is. Here it is this video. I got so wonderfully saved at another altar that was down here when I was, Freddie said I was 11 years old. Got saved when you was little. I still well remember when I got saved. Still well remember. But you know what? I'm glad the Lord put the seeds of holiness in my heart. I'm glad He did. Because I tell you, it's like Brother Vernon was talking about, and I'll put it in my own words, but if the devil sees a place anywhere in your life that he can try to trap you, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He is in this for keeps. He wants to keep you. He don't want to just you fall down and then you get back up and start trying to get right with the Lord, sir. He don't want you to do that. But when He's taking people out now, He's people's getting discouraged enough and stuff to quit church. I tell you what, they may never get back in again. They never. I'm not saying they won't, but there is I tell you, the devil has so much more to offer people now than he did even when I was growing up. So much more young people. But anyway, I'm thankful to be here, and I hope that the good Lord's will is done in this service. Hope it is. I'm sorry.